showtime.
Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Janai Kai, the Kick Demon, what is up? Welcome to Mission Pro Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I love that bit at the end, that fatality, because you literally kicked her out of her, kicked the soul out of her with that kick. I don't think she knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was pretty fatal indeed.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and you're a family with Mission Pro. We've loved so many of your matches, and I understand you got to go to Japan as well.
Yeah, I did.
How was that Japan tour?
It was great. I went a few times last year, and I loved every single moment of it. The last time I went, it's going to be almost a year since I actually went the last time, and I was there for 2 months. So it was a good experience for sure.
Do you have the plans to go back there anytime soon?
Well, I definitely plan on it. I don't know about anybody else over there who plans on having me back, but I definitely plan to eventually, go back either to TJPW or Great, whoever wants me, or maybe another promotion. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There are some promotions in the U.S. that could use you. I mean, be nice to maybe go around San Antonio. I think there's a promotion called Mission Pro that might love to have you come back in and teach some of the new blood some lessons and what's going on and what's going down. We do have a thing here, of course, Mission Pro, the tried and true, they know who you are, but just any new fans, let's reintroduce you to Janai Kai with a thing we call Insta Insanity. Totally not ripping off Sean Evans.
Welcome! It's Insta Insanity!
All right, this is, we got a few select photos from your Instagram, and that I definitely think there's at least a story behind it. We want to hear the story from you, of course. Got to go with this one, this double demon choke. What's going on here?
Well, I do the Dragon Sleeper here and there during my matches, which I now call the Demon Clutch.
Demon Clutch.
And for this match, it was a fatal four-way for my title, the MLW World Featherweight Championship.
Yes.
And I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and show everybody that, hey, all these women that are coming in that want this title and have been crying about getting a shot, it's not worth it. So I went ahead and proved it right there with a double Demon Clutch on Miyu Yamashita and Zeta Steel.
And I think it was Zeta that ended up being the one that tapped, but it could have been either one of them. And I just thought that was so killer. If they both tapped, I mean, that would have been tremendous as well. But and the look on your face too, that's like they effed around and now they found out. They definitely found out in that one.
Yep, 100%.
This one, it looks like, were you invited to participate in this, or is this, were you actually in the game? Because sometimes people say Janai Kai came straight out of a Mortal Kombat or Tekken game.
I was actually invited. Yoya, who is also a wrestler, mainly on the East Coast, he invited me. He's actually in that picture. And he's part of the tournament. I was just watching, yeah. But this was in DC, a big Tekken tournament. And he actually came in 9th place, I believe, out of like 40 people. Yeah, he did really good.
Did you pick up a controller?
I did not. You know, I tried a few years ago to play this, and it was really bad. You have to remember the combos, like the buttons and everything. Like I was not doing good whatsoever. And once I see I'm not rocking with something,
Yep.
after a few tries, I'm like, scratch that. We're
Stick
good.
to the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have the temptation to actually physically kick the screen if something a combo didn't work for you?
No, you know, I like to contain myself, you know, a little bit when it comes to the games. Like I do get a little competitive.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one thing about me, but yeah, I was all right.
Hey, having a competitive nature is really good asset to have in professional wrestling and any kind of combat. What about this guy?
So that I actually put that together from Five Below for Yo-Yo's birthday.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I like making gift baskets. Like I'm gonna start doing it more because it's just like a good idea to do as a gift. So if it's anyone's birthday coming up, or just something special like Mother's Day, like I'll do it for my mom. Like I'll put a little cute gift basket together. Like I'll just go to one store maybe that has like a lot of things and put something cute together.
Yeah, Five Below's great. Any of the Dollar Tree places too. You'd be surprised at the really cool stuff they have at those stores.
Yeah.
And you can, without really breaking it, you can put together something like that very, very well. Are you a SpongeBob fan yourself, or is it specific to the person that you're building the gift for?
It's both. It's a little bit of both. Because I watched SpongeBob like religiously when I was a child. And Yo-Yo kind of reminds me of SpongeBob.
Are you more of a Patrick or a Sandy or Squidward? Or Crab?
I would say a little bit of Sandy and a little bit of Squidward.
Depends on the mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That's very thoughtful of you to be able to put something like that together. Who's this guy or gal?
That's me.
Already the birth of the kick demon here.
Yeah, like that was one of my first few tournaments that I did as a yellow belt, and the black stripe in the middle means that I was like the student of the month or whatever. But I get to wear that for as long as I have the yellow belt. So yeah, I was at one of my first few tournaments there, and I was just getting ready to do my form. This was like in the back with my mom and my dad, and they just took a picture of me posing.
Did you pursue like MMA, or have you gone that route, or have you looked, or are you enjoying the more combative side of professional wrestling more?
I did peek into it a little bit in 2017. I did train for a fight, and I cut a lot of weight for it. And then my opponent pulled out of the fight last minute. So it kind of sucked that I lost a lot of weight. I didn't get a fight. I didn't get anyone to replace her. But after that, I was just like, what should I do? Should I continue to just do this and cut a lot of weight that's actually not healthy for me? Or should I go to wrestling, which is something that I've been thinking about? And I decided to go to wrestling.
I'm glad you made that call. Plus, cutting weight. I remember in high school, cutting weight for wrestling was tough. They would always want us to drop to like this ridiculous weight, and I'm like, we had guys wearing full trash bags over their tracksuits, spitting into a cup in the bathroom. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But and it's just kind of like the Tekken controller thing. If it's not really vibing with you initially, you're just like, not for me.
Exactly. Yeah. I just continue on to the next thing. I always have like other plans in mind to do. Like I'm never just set with one thing. I'll try something out. Like if someone brings up an idea to me, like I'll consider it. I'll maybe try it out. But in my head, I already came up with a decision most of the time. I'll be like, all right, let me see. Okay, no, this is not right. And move on to the next thing.
Yep. Moving on. All right, look at this crew here.
Yeah, that was in Rise, Chris Wolf. Chris
Mhm.
Wolf. Yeah.
Hence the wolf.
Yeah. I love her so much. And she retired, but she was one of my favorites watching in Stardom. Because I watched her first in Stardom before just
Mhm.
watching like her matches over here. And then we were on Rise. It was like a Rise Shimmer weekend. It's my first one. I was so excited, and I definitely wanted to get a picture with her. So yeah, it was a special moment.
Very cool. Did you start watching wrestling at an early age? Or was it something that's always kind of you've been a fan of, or was it something that kind of happened later in life?
So I always been a fan since I was little. My dad is to blame because he
Of
introduced me
course.
to it, and then he took me to live events.
Hmm.
So it made me fall more in love with it just seeing it live.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, we pop as marks when we're watching on TV, but when you go live, it's tremendous. I don't know if you remember a certain dark episode that you were part of in Norfolk, Virginia, and I think you were taking on Athena, and then some lunatic in the crowd shouted, "Kick David!" And I noticed that all of a sudden you had that evil look again on your face, like Athena was about to get. I think it was Athena. I got to go back and look.
Yeah, I did wrestle Athena over there, I believe.
Yep.
I don't remember. I don't remember that moment. There's some times where you just like you're in the zone.
Oh, of course.
And then like you'll like react to people during that zone, but then after that you just don't know what happened.
Oh, I know what you were thinking about. How many times are you going to kick Athena in the face? That's
Yeah, I was definitely in the game. That's for sure.
Do you find your appearances like on AEW and other promotions, and now of course you're the lightweight or featherweight champion? Featherweight champion for MLW. Are you getting more recognition as the Kick Demon? Are people seeing you and going, "Hey, Kick Demon"? Is it starting to happen a little bit more?
Oh yeah, I've gotten it here and there. Like, especially if I'm just walking around, like even during Mania or something like that, people would shout something out. Yeah, it happens very randomly too, but yeah, and some people they have to look twice because they don't even recognize me. Like right now, I don't look like the Kick Demon right now.
No.
Like some people have to look twice and be like, oh, and they look at my hair and they're like, I've had a lot of those. They like come up, they're like, "Are you Janai Kai?" Like,
do you play it down? Like, do you put like a ball cap or a hoodie, or do you kind of cover yourself a little bit to hide is it like an alter ego, like you're Clark Kent and Superman? You've got Janai Kai, there's the regular person, and then there's the Kick Demon.
Yeah, because like right now I have like a mid ponytail. It's not high up like I usually do. This is usually how I wear it outside of wrestling, or I am wearing a baseball cap. Like if I'm traveling and going through airports, I'm wearing a baseball cap most of the time. Like no one can recognize me. I've had people pick me up and I have to tell them like, "Hey, by the way, I'm wearing a baseball cap. So if you're looking for somebody with a mohawk and a ponytail or something, no, you're not going to find them." So I have to tell them.
You're not going to be able to recognize the Kick Demon until she wants you to see them.
Exactly.
It's your style is very unique. It's very it's eye catching because there's a lot of women's wrestling it's great, but your style, the Kick Demon style, especially one of my favorite matches of yours was with Jody Threat at Mission Pro, and there's such a crazy banger. By the way, that you went the distance with her, but my favorite thing you do is when you do the double kicks real fast back and forth. What got you started doing that?
So that was something that I learned in Taekwondo, and I was trying to figure out how I can incorporate it into wrestling. I did see that Speedball did them, but he did them like standing up while the person was standing up. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it that way. Let me think of a different way that I can do them. So I was thinking, all right, I'll do it when someone's like on their knees, like right there, boom, 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 boom. And then I'll finish it with like a final kick or something like that. So that's kind of how that idea came about.
Ooh, I just thought, have you faced Speedball Mike Bailey before?
Yeah, I have. It was like a couple years ago, and it was in the Bronx.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's on YouTube.
I will have hunt that one down. There's a ton of stuff. This was from Jordan Blade's Insta Insanity. I just got to ask you about this photo. Look at these miscreants getting ready to cause some havoc. You remember this moment?
That was definitely for Mission Pro. Definitely, if I can recall.
And look at Jody. How is Jody sitting on that thing? It looks like she's perched like a bird or something.
Yeah, Jody is a character, and I love her. She's like literally so random, but she's somebody that's great to have around for that reason. Because I'm very mellow, I'm chill, whatever, and then like she'll come up with like random things to say or bring up, which I appreciate.
Has she tried to get you to skate with her?
She hasn't. She has not. But that would be great. I would love a skating lesson from Jody.
I'm trying to get her and Miranda Alizé to have like a skateboard match. Like a
oh
skate
my
park,
gosh.
You know?
Have they even wrestled or anything?
I don't. I think they've wrestled once a long time ago, but I think that would be such a brutal.
That would be perfect.
The two of them head to head. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, we gotta settle this. Who has a more powerful strike? Your kicks or Jordan Blade's strikes? We might have to go to a Dave and Buster's and get one of those machines, that registers the force. She gave you props. She put you over though. I asked her that question. She said Janai Kai kicks. And not just that, also I asked Lufisto, this was a while back, it was actually on one of my other podcasts. Lufisto, I asked her 3. I said, which would you rather take? A chop from Mimi Sakura, a punch from Jordan Blade, a suplex from Masha Slamovich, or a kick from Janai Kai? She said the worst thing, the one thing absolutely would hate to take, not in real, but like she said, the most powerful of those 4, the one she fears the most is your kicks.
Oh wow! So
those are 4 very, very painful things to take, and she said, out of all of them, your kicks are worse than Emi Sakura's chops. So
whoa, that's crazy to even think about. But hey, I love Lufisto, and we've wrestled a few times too. And we always go hard. It's always a fun time. Sometimes we're just chilling in that ring. Like, it is a breeze with her when it comes to like having matches with her.
She's a legend. She has really paved. She's one of the ones that has really paved the way for women's wrestling. I mean, we do hear a lot about the women's revolution, and we hear in Mission Pro's mission is focused on elevating women's wrestling. But back when Lufisto was starting, it was such a different time. Do you feel? I mean, I don't know if she shared any stories with you, but obviously we've come a long way. Where do you see women's wrestling at now, and where is it heading? Are we kind of in a renaissance now, or do we have a lot more work to do?
I think we're hitting a point, because like a lot of things just happened recently too. Like even seeing like Jordan Gray showing up.
Oh, that was so cool.
NXT and everything. It's just like that moment really solidified a lot of things. Like women's wrestling is popping. Like we can make these like surprise appearances and get like sort of like the Rock's reaction, like the crowd. We could almost get to that level, that superstar level. Like we're there. Like we can have that reaction too. And so like Jordan Grace, I feel like she kind of proved that with that surprise appearance. That was very unexpected. But hey, like we can make the same type of impact like the men do.
Do you think it's like we're like not in the content, but in the as far as where it is like on a timeline? Do you think the women's wrestling is kind of entering its attitude era, or maybe not necessarily attitude era, but with that point where like a Jordan Grace can just show up on NXT and it's not a who, it's a oh my god, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Has technology helped that, you think?
I think it has. It definitely has helped with that, and I still like to have it where it is a genuine surprise, like it's not leaked.
Yeah.
Or the dirt sheets saying like, "Oh, rumor here."
No spoilers.
Like no spoilers. Like I would still like to have it that way, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen too often anymore. It was great, like back then, like because the internet was still there, but it wasn't there. But I would like to keep it there where it's like, let's not spoil anything, guys. Come on, like who's really asking for them? First of all, I know a lot of people would just rather be surprised, but here we are. But if we can just continue to have certain moments like that here and there, it's nice. It's a good thing to see.
I think it's a battle like between, there's some people that they want to be first to say it. You know, they want to be like, oh, I knew about it before everybody else or something. And it's like, come on, man. I'm just trying to, tweet my grandmother. I don't need to see, who's going to be on Rampage or whatever. And then it's the other thing is it's like, I know some people think that you need to advertise when a big star is coming because so that more people will buy tickets or more people will be invested. I'm with you though. I want those surprises. I want them to put the blanket over the person's head as they get into the arena, and then suddenly, oh my gosh, it's The Rock! Oh, I can't believe it.
Yes,
we need more pops like that.
We definitely do. It's more of like a genuine pop because like a lot of fans do go online. They already see the rumors, and then like there's some times where you hear the audience chanting the person's name, and the person hasn't even came out yet.
Yeah,
it's like, oh gosh, okay, ruined even more.
Well, and so I agree in most cases. However, like I like when there's a strong hint, but it's not a spoiler, not a guarantee. Like in AEW when Ruby Soho debuted, she had nobody knew for sure if she was coming or not, but she had those vignettes or whatever where it was promoting herself.
Yeah.
And then when the Joker, the mystery person in the Battle Royal, people were already chanting Ruby Soho and nobody knew she was there. She said that was such a surreal moment because people were cheering her and she hadn't really debuted yet. And that's cool. And of course the CM Punk at AEW, not to talk about the other stuff that happened there, but like when he debuted, people were foaming at the mouth expecting it to be him. And I gotta tell you, if CM Punk didn't show up that night, I think there would have been a riot.
Most definitely.
What has been your favorite pop as a wrestler? You kind of see things a little bit. You see a little more behind the curtain, but do you still enjoy watching wrestling? Do you still get that pop, that moment as well?
Yeah, and I try to watch as much as possible to see what's going on. Like I'll try to go back because I do miss certain nights because I'm working. And I try to catch up and I try to see like even NXT who the up and coming talent are, who's really rocking it right now. But I still I still have that fan in me. Like I have my fan side, but it's at this point it's not as much as like my wrestling worker side that I have. Because every time I watch wrestling, I am thinking about how people are doing things and stuff like that. So I'll try to watch it as a fan, but it's not entirely there unless like when The Rock came out recently, like that's when I popped. Like, that was the last time I mean Jordan Grace I definitely popped, but like before that it was The Rock. So that's why I also make those two comparisons because that's like how I personally felt. Like I felt like those two appearances were kind of similar. Like they gave me the same feeling.
Yeah, that's it. Do you like it when like a friend of yours in the business debuts somewhere and you're like, so
yeah, of course, because that's like, oh snap, like what's gonna happen? Like added like, and they don't. There's some people that didn't tell me that they were showing up in certain places, and I felt like you could have told me something. You didn't say anything to me, and like it's funny. It's really cool.
Where am I on your friends list now? Like
I thought I was top 8, your top 4, like, on MySpace if we had MySpace.
I miss MySpace. We did Tom dirty. We banded him. Yeah, we did him dirty. He was always our friend. Shout out to Tom.
Yeah.
Where do you see women's wrestling heading in the future? You're talking about we're there where we're getting those pops. Do you see it evolving where it's going to not even be like a women's wrestling thing? It's just going to be wrestling, or what are your thoughts on where we're heading into the next few years?
I don't think it's going to go like to just plain wrestling in a sense where there's like not a woman's wrestling per se. Like there's definitely going to be that. Because again, like I think we're still showing that we have that like superstar, power.
Yeah.
And like we still gotta like do a little bit, like we're gonna prove a little bit more when it comes to that. So I think as far as like the work goes, we're gonna work on that to just show everybody. But at the same time, like I have mixed emotions and mixed views when it comes to it. Like when there's a women's match going on, a lot of people like to chant like women's wrestling. And it's like that's cool that they're recognizing it's a women's match. Yeah. Obviously.
Oh, good for you guys. That's biology.
But like it's like a preference. I rather hear like this is wrestling. It's like little things like that. I know a lot of people feel some type of way when an announcer says this is a women's match. It's here and there. Like if it's for like a women's championship match, definitely say that part. But yeah, I guess like it makes sense. Like you don't have to say this is a women's match set for one fall. You can say this is a singles match.
Yeah.
Point blank. And then when the girl comes out, then they'll be like, oh, it's a women's match. And then whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's how I feel. A lot of mixed feelings, views everywhere.
Yeah, it's not, you don't want to say it like, oh, everybody, just to let you know, this is a women's match. It's almost like, all right, if you want to go get popcorn, which to me, that's so silly. I recall one of my first indie shows I went to, and it was in North Carolina. And there was only one women's match, and it was in the middle of the whole thing. It was actually like right before the intermission where they did the merch, and they killed it. It was so funny too, because they were like, it was like just regular match. And then the two ladies got out there and they were like, it was like WWE level top, something New Japan level wrestling. Oh, yeah. And I could see the guys in the back that haven't wrestled yet. They're peeking around going, damn, we're going to have to step it up. Like they stole the show, and it was tremendous. And it was one of those things where it's like, that should have been the main event if it was going off of like, and it wasn't just the athletics, but they were doing some crazy kicks and like some drop kicks, and they were going up on the top rope. But the storytelling, because there was a clear heel and a clear baby face, and the heel was just reacting to the crowd. How important, athleticism is phenomenal. Everybody loves to see the kick demon go into the kick frenzy, if you will, the possession tornado, whatever that is. But also storytelling. How important is storytelling in the ring? Obviously leading up to a match is important, but in the ring, what is storytelling to you?
So it's a very important part for me, because it just makes things more simple for the wrestlers too, to like come up with the match or anything. But I think that's what a lot of fans also look for secretly, even though they love the flips and all of that nowadays. I think they secretly still want that story. And you see it all the time, even online. People are like, oh, there's no more selling in wrestling anymore. Like things like that, because everyone's doing a flip after they just took a co-red or something. Like, it's like little things like that. So I think when it comes to that, definitely tell a story in that sense, sell. Like a lot of, let's keep those, traditional type of things. To me, it's very important. So I try to keep in mind too, when I'm wrestling, that I showcase that part, because I also want to work on it as well.
I still have not forgiven Billy Starks for pretending to be almost paralyzed against Queen Aminata, only to choke her out and win the Ring of Honor TV championship. Kayfabe, I haven't forgiven her. Reality was, it was an awesome moment, that crazy look on her face. But silly Billy. Eddie Kingston always gets me too. He legitimately makes me convinced he's really hurt. Now, granted, he really is hurt now, so I hope he heals. But like, I remember he's had matches where he's like hobbling, like you think his leg's gonna come off, and then he's backstage like, hey, all right, guys, and it's like, dude, what happened?
And he's literally having a fight in there, so I don't. Like, maybe it's real, maybe it's just him selling, but at the same time, like, I feel that because So when I wrestle, I want to feel like I'm in a fight as well. Like I
Mhm.
want to like go in on this match. Like I don't want to feel like, oh, this is like going to be easy, soft, whatever, because then I don't feel like I'm progressing in any shape or form. So like after the match, if I'm sore, I'm like, damn, like that sucks. But at the same time, I know I went in and I know my stuff is going to look clean. That's all that matters to me.
It just seems like there's a delicate balance between hitting hard enough to make it real, authentic, but also protecting your quote unquote dance partner, if you will. You know, so like how is that line? How difficult is that line to maintain?
It's not difficult for me at all because I know how to control it. You obviously see, in actuality, all of my opponents are okay at the end of the day after they wrestle me. Because a lot of people think that I'm shooting on somebody or something like that. Like they're actually concerned about my opponents, but they're okay. Like you can ask anybody. Like they're like. As far as I know, everybody's okay. They're walking, they're smiling, like whatever. But at the same time, we're gonna have a fight, and they know it. My opponents know we're gonna have a fight, and they know we're gonna go in because every time there's a match announced against me, they have to say something about it. Like for example, recently Heather Reckless, she made a video watching my match, and she's like writing down a note, and then the note says shoot on her, and I'm like, okay, so you know what's up, you know what we're gonna do today. Perfect.
Now when you ask them backstage if they're okay, is it like, are you okay, or is it, are you gonna be okay? Is it more sarcastic, or is it more like when they respond they're like, I'm okay?
So like beforehand you're talking about, or after?
After, like, are they gonna be, or
Oh, well, I mean, beforehand, I definitely let them know, because maybe in the back of their head, they're thinking, how hard is she going to kick? I do let them know, like, which kick is going to be stiffer than the others, which is usually one that's stiffer, and that's usually my spinal kicks, because, hey, that does suck. I've taken that before, so I do know how much that hurts. So I do give them a heads up when it comes to that, so they already know what's up when it comes to that and everything else. But afterwards, like, of course, we have to check on each other, make sure we're good. That's the most important thing. You to always meet with your opponent after the match. Talk about what maybe have messed up or whatever. Like just talk about everything, and then you're good.
Make sure their soul hadn't left their body. You know, make sure those kind of things.
Yeah.
I talked with Jordan. We kind of were going through some of the news in wrestling, and Tony Khan announced that when he was talking at the Double or Nothing Scrum, not only, you know, we've been crying for women's tag belts in AEW. We were just like, come on, women's tag. But he mentioned the possibility of intergender or mixed tag belts. What's your take on mixed tag teams, intergender wrestling? Is this something that you think will catch on? Is this something gaining popularity? Is this something where, oh, it's going to be just another belt that might flood the market a little bit on championships?
So I have a lot of mixed views.
You have mixed feelings about the mixed tag? Okay.
Yes. Yes, I actually do. Because like I've done a lot of intergender matches in the past. Lately, I've been trying to get away from them only because I feel like I just have to wrestle more women. I feel like to up my resume wise, and to show other people like that I might work with in the future, like, hey, like this is my work, and show more matches with women rather than guys, because it is a little bit different, to be honest. So that is what I'm feeling like right now, is just wrestling more women. I will have an intergender match here and there, but not all the time anymore. But if there's like any like mixed tag belts, I think that would be a little bit, you know, shaky, especially if it's going to be on TV. Yeah. Because people still, you know, think about what that actually promotes for certain people. It might trigger certain people, which I get, totally understandable.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Maybe let's not talk about them.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll keep it off TV if that. But like at the same time, I've seen it where like WWE in the past, when they have intergender matches, it's usually if the girl attacks the guy on the other side automatically has to come in. If we have it that way, maybe that would be a little bit better. But I don't know. It's all over the place.
And I've heard mixed arguments. I've heard two sides. Like on one side, people are complaining that it takes away, like mixed tag, it actually takes away from the women's division because it's almost like, well, especially when a booker books it and they count it as a women's match. Like if they're trying, well, hey, there's the women's match I booked. Like they're keeping a quota, instead of just putting on great matches regardless of gender. And the other side, though, people are saying that, if you pair, it's giving more of a more eyes on the women's division. I think to me, it's just a matter of just book great matches. If there's a good story there and if it's going to work. But I get what you're saying, too, about you're building a resume. If you're a singles women's competitor, unless you are competing for a mixed tag title, or unless that is your focus, I can see where you want to have, hey, look how many of these singles victories I have in the women's division. I'm undeniable. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely what I'm saying. Because again, it is a little bit different, and I think like for a while I was doing intergender matches, and I was like, I don't know, I kind of want to wrestle more women again because it's a different feeling. It's just like a whole different type of vibe for me personally. Definitely should still be around. And again, going back to the whole story thing, like you said, if there's like a mixed tag match or anything, like make it make sense. Like, why are these two teams like going at it? What's the actual story?
Yeah. Like,
why does it make sense for the girl to slap the guy on the other team? Like, why is she slapping him? Why is he throwing her around? What does she do? And I'm trying to follow what's happening on TV with these promotions. As long as the story absolutely makes sense, and it's just like for no reason, just to get like a cheap pop or whatever views, like then I'm kind of like, all right, dude, like why? You can come up with so many different ideas and stories for something like this.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't think you need plunder. You've got your registered weapons, your fists and your kicks. You don't need to bring any plunder. But it almost goes with the same thing about there's a story with it. Cutting or getting busted open just for the sake of the shock. I don't think that's. I don't know. I don't know if that's as entertaining as it's almost the law of diminishing returns. There's a running joke now with John Moxley. Is he bleeding yet? He's like, he'll start bleeding all of a sudden, and I don't. Now, granted, I don't know. In the case of Malachi Black getting the carry treatment, that was a whole nother level. But
yeah.
Were you able to? I mean, what promotions do you try to follow the most, or are you? Is it just whenever you get a chance to catch something?
So for like WWE or AEW, those are the two that I try to like watch back if I could, or watch clips to see what's going on. But I absolutely just keep watching Japanese wrestling. Like I'm watching Marigold. I have a Wrestle Universe subscription, so I already watched the first few shows on there. And then TJPW, I try to keep up with how the girls are doing there and all of that. And then Great is on YouTube, so I can always check out their shows if I wanted to. So I try to, I scatter around, basically. So it's random. So it's like however I feel that day, like what kind of wrestling I want to watch, I will go to it. Most of the time it's the Japanese wrestling, but maybe I'll try and watch back like a Ring of Honor that happened or just passed, or TNA, they post on YouTube like free matches that basically just happened. So I'll go on there and check out my friends that are actually recently on there, which is cool.
Well, being unique allows you to stand out, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for. And when you're copying somebody else, I mean, it's one thing to take something that you see, I like that, and incorporate it. But like to try to be somebody else, it doesn't come off authentic. How much of your character, the Kick Demon, comes from your own personal background and like your own culture, your own life story, or is it's just like this? Is this like this Marvel comic superhero or supervillain? I know it depends on which way you're going. How did the kick demon kind of evolve as you pursued this this line of work?
I think I've evolved a little bit more like with that demon side when it was during the time when I was doing like Rise Shimmer weekends where I realized like a lot of these girls weren't taking it easy on me like in the ring, but it was a good thing because then that kind of like woke me up and it told me like this is the level that you got to be. Like these girls around you, like a lot of these girls have been in the game for years. They're part of like Shimmer shows for a reason. Like they've been killing it. They're about to get signed. Like it's things like that. So it's like to see how they absolutely work in the ring. That's what kind of made me like, okay, I gotta go hard. I gotta go hard. Like that's kind of what made me want to go harder in the ring too. Not hold back, not be light, whatever. Be a little bit more snug because that's actually like a good thing. Not necessarily a bad thing unless you're going to be reckless with it. But yeah, that's like at the point where I was like, let me start becoming more powerful even for myself because I know for a fact that's what I absolutely need. I'm not completely satisfied with myself, so maybe this is the thing that's going to make me more satisfied. So it was definitely that, watching more Japanese wrestling. Even after like my first trip to Japan, I was kind of like, okay, I definitely feel like I fit in over there. Let me show that here, like what I learned, things like that. So it's just like little things. And then the way that I got the name was when I did CFU, and it was like their first show, and then like the Japanese account called me the Kick Demon. Like in Japanese, they said the Kick Demon, and I translated it. I was like, oh.
That's rad.
I did have a moniker, but it was the baddest black belt. But I got rid of that right when I saw the Kick Demon.
Oh, Kick Demon, yeah, got to go with that.
Yeah, because I started seeing more black belts pop up in the scene, and I was, I know I can say I'm the baddest, but the Kick Demon, you know what? That kind of demolishes everybody at this point.
It does. It fits you too because like you start out when they're announcing you in the ring, you've got your mouthpiece in, you get this grin. Like you do, like you just like you can see you're in the zone. You just kind of get this like evil grin on your face, and it's just like it's intimidating. If I was your opponent and I didn't know, we didn't talk beforehand about how your kicks are gonna be, I would be like, oh, she's gonna break my neck, she's gonna break my face.
And you know what? That was something that I completely came up with myself because I was like literally looking in the mirror one day and I was like, there has to be something facial wise that I can do because facials are very important as well.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I roll off with? Like I started making faces. Like I'm like, how do I look like evil? How do I look like a demon? Like I started like smiling like at the mirror. I'm like, maybe I can do something like that. And then I started adding the mouthpiece like after like, I think it was like 2.5, 3 years in, I started adding the mouthpiece. And then I was like, can I like smile with a mouthpiece maybe? I was like, and I tried it out and I was like, okay, let me try it. And when I saw how it looked like at shows, I'm like, all right, we got something. we finally got something where people can identify me in a way.
And promos can also really help wrestlers, but sometimes less is more, especially like in certain characters. Like there are some characters I feel like they take away from their character if they talk too much. Where some like Hook is one I think he should just stand there and be like this all the time because he looks tougher without talking. With you, how do you approach promos? Do you think the Kick Demon needs to be just standing there going like this the whole time, or have you been working on your promos? What are your thoughts on cutting promos for your matches?
So I've definitely worked on promos because that was definitely a weak point for me because I didn't really have to talk way too much unless like a promotion asked me to make a promo for the upcoming match, whatever. And the way that I did that was the way I learned in training. It's like you list the who, what, where, why, like whatever, like the standard promo. But then when it came to like live mic or something like that, that's when I didn't really know. Unless I had a story to bounce off of, then I can say something, but not like on the fly, like just whatever. And then when I joined MLW, though, they definitely helped me out with that because they see something in me,
Mm-hmm.
and they already have a vision for me, and it's me not talking a lot, which is absolutely fine. Because they believe that I don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
and if I do, I'll say just like maybe one little sentence, a little phrase, something cute, and that's it. That's a wrap. Let's get right into the fighting. Like that's basically like what I believe as well. So I'm glad they're seeing what I'm seeing at the same time. So like that's how I kind of want to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, like if I have to talk a lot, like it's just not going to feel natural for me. It's like, why are we here? It's like, oh, come on, let's fight. Like, I'll say whatever I need to say, and let's go. Like,
you said that I'll need to say something cute. I'm like, I even like saying puppies and kittens. Like,
no, not
and
cute
kittens.
like that.
You said puppies and kittens like that. Even that's like
something cute, like something slight. Like
something little here. How's that? How does it feel at MLW? It seems like they're very they're one of the lesser recognized when you've got TNA, AEW, and WWE, but it should be more elevated. MLW does seem like it takes care of its own. How's the locker room there?
The locker room's great. Everyone's great. Everyone like works with me so well. Like I said, they help me in so many different ways, and I'm very thankful to be there because I feel like if a lot of wrestlers they wonder, oh, like when am I gonna get signed? When am I gonna get signed to AEW, WWE?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, sometimes you're not thrown in there for a reason. Maybe you're just like not completely developed yet. Some people do get thrown in there when they're not fully developed. Like they don't know who they are, whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Maybe they'll find themselves eventually. But for me, like this is going to be my 7th year wrestling. And, I still believe, of course, that I'm trying to find myself. And MLW is really helping me do that because I was thinking when I'm going to get signed or something, or when they're going to see me or someone, is trying to grab me or something. And I was thinking that like a year or 2 years ago, but now I'm thinking I wasn't ready to get pulled in. Like you're never ready, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you still have to have somewhat readiness in your heart, like confidence, like, okay, you want me to come in? Word, I got you guys. What do you need me to do? Okay, all right, that type of match. You want me to go there and cut a cute little segment, promo, whatever. That's fine. Like, I want to go into a company like that. Yeah. I don't want to go in like help, I want to go in completely prepared.
You want to go in and be a upgrade to them, or for at least them to see that you are a benefit to them, not a liability. Yeah. And, it's funny because as a fan, I went on a wrestling hiatus for a while, and it was, I'm not bashing WWE, but I kind of got busy with my shoot job and everything else. And I was, things were going there, but I got back into wrestling several years ago. And a lot of what I started to realize is at first I always was like, I'd see a cool wrestler on the indie circuit. I'm like, they need to get signed. And I get upset. I get frustrated. Why doesn't AEW sign this person? Why doesn't WWE sign this person? And then, like you said, though, as I've been watching more independent shows and watching a lot more on YouTube, it's like sometimes that's where you need to be right now. I mean, and MLW is not like, Joe's Crab Shack Wrestling. It's like, you are the featherweight champion of MLW. That's a huge thing.
But also, a lot of people are watching it. Even the big companies are watching MLW.
Yes,
and we know this for a fact that they're keeping an eye on the talent that are there. They've been doing that for the past several years. So it's definitely a good spot to be in.
And people know you. Like one thing I liked about Thunder Rosa is when she came over from NWA to AEW, I started noticing like a lot of Mission Pro wrestlers, a lot of her kids, in my opinion, were showing up in dark matches. And I always would talk about the Thunder Rosa rub, and that's kind of where when I first was introduced to you was kind of through that, and of course you through Mission Pro and that you and Jody Threat. Come on now, that's got to be one of my top matches ever. You guys killed each other.
I was actually very nervous before that match. Like I was dead. Like it's normally nervous, but I was like, I don't think I got this type nervous.
You had it. You and Jody. killed it. I thought that was to me that was the match of the night. I thought that was tremendous. And what's been your favorite match? What do you like? Is there a match that stands out in your mind? You you crushed it.
Yeah, it was definitely in Japan. It was me versus Miyu Watanabe for the international title, and that's when I really got emotional after that match because I was very satisfied, and like I knew that I very much belonged over there. Like everything just went great. Like it went better than I thought. Like, and I was very confident. I felt very confident, and I felt appreciated. I felt welcome. Like the audience understood me there, which was helpful. But yeah, that would be like my favorite one still.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments. One of my favorite moments of all time was, I think it was 2001 SummerSlam, Rob Van Dam versus Jeff Hardy. It was a ladder match, and they just were. It was insane. I think they did like a power bomb off the top rope. And what was great about the match is RVD wins, and the music's playing, but their bodies just collapse. They're like laying on the ground, but the camera catches a moment where Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy just kind of look at each other and they go. They knew that they stole the show. They knew this was the match. I can't imagine that feeling afterwards where you're just like, you smoked it.
Yeah, and that's why I try to give like 1,000%. Like I go hard for a reason so that I can feel that same exact emotion. Like, okay, we killed it. Like we went in, like we can say sorry afterwards, like Victoria says. I always love that quote from Victoria. But dude, like that's why like I need to go in, like I need to give it my all. Like and a lot of people say act like this is your last match. Like if this was your last match, how would you do it? Like go in, like really put all out on it. So
all out. I love it. When you're not the kick demon, what do you like to do in your spare time? I do know, are you still teaching martial arts? I think there was a while you were teaching either martial arts or you had a school or something you were doing.
Yeah, I was at another gym, but I'm at a different gym now.
Okay.
And it's a boxing gym, but I'm onboarding to become a trainer there. Cool. Right now. So I will be teaching classes there very, very soon.
Are you going to be teaching wrestling, kickboxing? What
it's going to be boxing and then like weight training. So it's both.
Very cool. So if you want to get under the Kick Demon's learning tree, there you go. Join the Kick Demon. Besides that though, I mean, is it just train, or are you a video game fan or not? Or are there things you like to do outside of wrestling?
Yeah, like so I was streaming on Twitch and then I took a little bit of a break and then I moved recently, so I'm trying to just get my life back together and then hopefully slowly get back into streaming on Twitch, which I was playing a lot of like scary games, but I'm not like a huge gamer or anything like that. So yeah, but if anything, I will play video games if I get the chance. Like I love playing Dead by Daylight with my friends, something like that, something fun like that. And then for the most part, like I forgot who I told this to, but because they asked me the same question, and usually I just like going out. I like chilling, like going to a coffee shop. I like just like, and I like to plan things ahead too. So I try to think of like what I can do with my time in that way. So it's like, what do I got going on next week? Okay, what do I want to do? What do I have going on in my life? Because like, I'm getting older. I'm like, there's other things I need to think about. It's just things like that. And that's like how it's been recently. So that's kind of like what I do with my time when I'm not wrestling.
Is it down to what flavor boba tea you're going to drink? Or is it more just like, okay, go here?
Well, if I was going to get a boba, I'll definitely get like a coffee one or something.
Cool.
Like, so, a latte with boba in it if I were to. But, like sometimes those things matter.
Yes.
So I will not even like joke about it. What you go to the coffee shop or I'm going to get a latte. Like that thing can just make your day.
Oh, I know. I used to get a toffee nut mocha when I was in my previous job. I used to get a toffee nut mocha every morning, and then they ran out of toffee nut flavor, and it ruined my day. Like they put vanilla, or they put hazelnut in it. Now, normally hazelnut's fine, but because I'm in that toffee nut mindset, I was just like hazelnut. I blamed the whole day was ruined because of hazelnut. Granted, that was my own.
Right.
I jinxed myself, but it's like, you're expecting your day to go this way, and it's like, oh
yeah. So again, the little things, they matter.
They do. A bad boba can throw the whole thing off.
Yeah, if the boba pearls are like too hard, like they didn't heat them up enough, that's bad boba.
Bad boba. Avoid the bad bobas. Well, Janai, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to drop probably in the next week or so. I'll tag you and everything. This has been great, and we got two things we got to do. One, we got to see you back at Mission Pro in San Antonio, and two, we got to settle this Jordan versus Janai strike power thing sometime. We got to figure out a way to maybe we could rent one of those things from Dave and Buster's and have it in the San Antonio at the Salvation Army or something, and see who can hit harder. Awesome. Where can we see you? MLW, what you got coming up? What's your next big match coming up, and where can we see you?
Yep, we have MLW in Atlanta coming up. And then June is pretty stacked for sure. Like, I am just now thinking about what I have going on. I'm going back to Black Label Pro in Chicago. I am going to Texas. I'm going to Corpus Christi.
Okay.
For GPWA. It's a pretty busy June for sure. I'm all over the place, and you can find me on Instagram, Janai_Kai, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Janai_Kai. I have Patreon as well, where I do a lot of vlogs, a lot of daily blog posts. So you can check out my patreon.com/Janai Kai. I have a whole link tree on my bios for all of those pages, or you can just click on it and you'll see everything. I have a merch shop on there with a few cute items. So you can check it out.
Very cool. And of course, do you have all these places you're going in June? Do you have the lattes and bobas mapped out already?
That's a good idea. Honestly, I'm not drinking coffee before shows.
It's probably a good idea. I can understand that
for many different reasons. But if I'm staying there for a couple of days, and maybe I get there the day before, I'll try and find a cafe. But
that's good idea. Coffee pre-match, probably not a good idea, especially the an espresso. Bad things can happen.
A lot of bad things.
Well, thank you so much on behalf of Janai Kai, the Kick Demon, who's she's going to be coming your way sometime. Check her out. Make sure you go out and say hi. Buy her merch, and maybe buy her a boba tea if you see her in town, but don't buy her a coffee before her match. Thank you for tuning in. This is Mind Runner, and we will see you at On a Mission with Emily May and Veda on Tuesday. And, of course, the regular scheduled time for Mission Pro Spotlight every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. Have a great one, and Kick Demon, thank you for your time.